Welcome to our deep dive into coral bleaching, the ultimate guide to a global marine emergency. Today, we're exploring the science and devastating consequences of this phenomenon that's threatening our ocean's most vibrant ecosystems. Coral reefs are often called the rainforests of the sea, teeming with life and color. But imagine these underwater wonderlands turning ghostly white, devoid of their vibrant hues. This is the reality of coral bleaching, a process that's rapidly becoming one of the most pressing environmental issues of our time. So, what exactly is coral bleaching? At its core, it's a stress response. When corals experience changes in their environment, particularly increases in water temperature, they expel the colorful algae living in their tissues. These algae, known as zooxanthellae, are not just responsible for the coral's stunning colors. They're also the coral's primary food source. Without them, the coral's white skeleton becomes visible through its transparent tissue, giving it a bleached appearance. But the problem doesn't stop at aesthetics. Bleaching is a life-or-death situation for corals. If conditions don't improve quickly, the corals will starve. It's a stark reminder of the delicate balance that exists in our oceans, and how easily it can be disrupted. The primary culprit behind coral bleaching is climate change. As global temperatures rise, our oceans absorb much of this excess heat. Even small increases in water temperature can trigger bleaching events. What's particularly alarming is the frequency and scale at which these events are occurring. In the past, bleaching was a rare phenomenon. Now, it's becoming an almost annual occurrence in some parts of the world. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef system, has been hit particularly hard. In 2016 and 2017, back-to-back bleaching events affected two-thirds of the reef. The sight of vast stretches of once colorful coral turned white is a sobering image of climate change's impact on our planet. But temperature isn't the only factor. Pollution, overfishing, and coastal development all contribute to the stress on coral reefs. These human activities can weaken corals, making them more susceptible to bleaching when temperatures rise. The consequences of coral bleaching extend far beyond the corals themselves. Coral reefs are home to an estimated 25% of all marine life, despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor. They're biodiversity hotspots, providing shelter, breeding grounds, and food for countless species. When corals die, the entire ecosystem suffers. Fish populations decline, affecting both the marine food web and the millions of people who rely on these fish for food and income. The loss of coral reefs also means the loss of natural barriers that protect coastlines from storms and erosion. The economic impact is staggering. Coral reefs provide billions of dollars in revenue through tourism, fishing, and other ecosystem services. Their loss could devastate coastal communities around the world. But it's not all doom and gloom. Scientists and conservationists are working tirelessly to understand and combat coral bleaching. One promising approach is the development of more heat-resistant corals. By identifying and breeding corals that can withstand higher temperatures, researchers hope to create more resilient reefs. Another strategy involves creating coral nurseries. These underwater gardens grow coral fragments that can be transplanted to damaged reefs, helping to restore and repopulate these ecosystems. It's a labor-intensive process, but it's showing promising results in many areas. There are also efforts to reduce local stressors on coral reefs. This includes improving water quality by reducing pollution and runoff, implementing sustainable fishing practices, and creating marine protected areas where reefs can thrive without human interference. But perhaps the most crucial action is addressing climate change itself. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions and limiting global temperature rise is essential for the long-term survival of coral reefs. It's a global challenge that requires action at all levels, from individual choices to international agreements. As individuals, we can make a difference. Simple actions like reducing our carbon footprint, choosing sustainable seafood, and supporting conservation efforts can contribute to the protection of coral reefs. When visiting coastal areas, using reef-safe sunscreen and practicing responsible tourism can help minimize our impact on these fragile ecosystems. Education and awareness are also key. The more people understand about coral bleaching and its consequences, the more support there will be for conservation efforts. Sharing information, supporting research, and advocating for policies that protect our oceans are all ways we can contribute to the fight against coral bleaching. In conclusion, coral bleaching is more than just a change in color. It's a critical warning sign of the health of our oceans. The loss of coral reefs would be a tragedy not just for marine life, but for all of us who depend on healthy oceans for our survival and well-being. The challenge is enormous, but so is the global effort to address it. From scientists in laboratories to volunteers on beaches, people around the world are working to protect and restore our coral reefs. It's a race against time, but with continued research, conservation efforts, and global action on climate change, there's hope for these incredible ecosystems. Understanding coral bleaching is the first step in protecting our oceans. By spreading awareness and taking action, we can all play a part in ensuring that future generations will be able to experience the wonder and beauty of coral reefs. Remember, every action counts in the fight to save our oceans. Whether it's reducing your carbon footprint, supporting marine conservation organizations, or simply spreading the word about the importance of coral reefs, you can make a difference. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into coral bleaching. The more we understand about this global marine emergency, the better equipped we are to address it. Together, we can work towards a future where our oceans are healthy, vibrant, and full of life. Like, share, and subscribe to InfiniteUniall for more in-depth explorations of our planet's most pressing environmental issues.